Hello and welcome back to Lipstick and Luminol. This is episode number 3. I'm so excited that I've had a few people who are consistently watching these now. That's pretty exciting. Today's case is one that kind of got its infamy at the beginning of 2020 with a docuseries called Don't F with Cats. So if you've seen that, you know that I'm about to talk about Luka Magnotta. Luka is a Canadian-born murderer. He is now 38 years old, and although he's not a serial killer, his crimes are sick. Before I really get into it, I want to give a warning. There will be discussion of animal abuse as well as abuse of corpse. So if you don't want to hear those details, this video definitely isn't for you, so I would wait for the next one. So if you don't know anything about this case, strap in, it's about to get crazy. Magnotta was actually born Eric Clinton Kirk Newman in Scarborough, Ontario. He was the first of 3 children, and according to him, his mother had extreme OCD when it came to cleanliness. She also often locked the children outside, as well as once put the kid's pet rabbit outside where it froze to death. And even by the age of 6 and 7, Luka was forced to still wear diapers. His father was a diagnosed schizophrenic, and Luka's father ended up divorcing Luka's mother, which was when Luka moved in with his grandmother, who her and his brother used to make fun of Luka and kind of like emotionally abuse him because he tended to be a bit more feminine than like your average little boy, I guess. So he got a lot of verbal abuse from them just surrounding who he was. He never graduated high school, and he started to show some symptoms of schizophrenia and other mental illnesses. Shortly after he graduated in 2003, he began working as a gay porn star. It's like, do your thing, man. Just don't murder people. At this time, he also worked as a stripper and an escort. And in 2005, he was working as a model, and he actually ended up being in the magazine Fab in Toronto. This was the same year that he was convicted of impersonation. He was convicted on 3 accounts, and he had impersonated a woman that he had become friends with. He knew that she would be easily to manipulate because she was developmentally delayed, therefore he thought that she would be an easy target. There were also allegations that he had sexually assaulted this woman. However, this was never proven, but it's said that there is a video of it, so it's really difficult to kind of believe that he didn't. He used her to apply for credit cards where he racked up $10,000, and when he was caught, he received 9 months of community service and 12 months of probation. At the time of his hearing for this, the judge told him that if he didn't take medication, his life was going to be messed up. And little did that judge know just how correct he was going to be. In August of 2006, Luka officially changed his name, and at this time he was also dating a woman named Barbie, and she jokes in an interview that when she first met him, she said, "I hope you don't murder me." That's spooky. March 2007, he declares bankruptcy for $17,000, but it's denied by December. At the same time, Luka starts getting addicted to cosmetic surgery. And if you've seen the guy, you know that he really likes cosmetic surgery. In an interview, he actually says that his #1 priority are his looks. He was rumored to have dated Karla Homolka, but he later denied these allegations and actually ended up doing an interview with the Toronto Sun just to prove that he was not involved with her. These rumors were completely unfounded and no one really knew where they got started, but a lot of people think that Luka himself started it. Luka then began creating online fan videos of himself. He was absolutely obsessed with himself. He would make these videos using pictures from his previous modeling gigs, and he once lost a battle with Wikipedia because he wanted a page up about him, but they wouldn't let him. I mean, he now has a Wikipedia, but it's definitely not for modeling. So tracking his like online presence, it started to get really dark and really disturbing, which is when he posts his first video titled "One Guy, Two Kittens." This is when I'm going to talk about some animal abuse, so I would fast forward. I'm not going to go into detail. So this is in 2010 and he is posting this video of him with two cats, and it starts off innocuous of him just kind of like playing with them, which is super cute. But then he seals these kittens into a plastic bag, and that's where we're going to leave that. You can use your imagination for the rest. I don't want to talk about it. As I've mentioned in previous videos already, animal abuse is often linked to one of the three in the McDonald triad. And the McDonald triad is basically the building block characters of what's going to make a killer or a serial killer. All three are animal abuse, arson, and wetting the bed. I don't know about the other two, but we for sure know that he really loved that animal abuse. After this was posted, this was when some animal rights activists got involved, and in my completely unprofessional opinion, without these guys, I don't think he would have been solved. I don't think this case would have been solved as quickly as it was. Ryan Boyle, who was a former US soldier, created a Facebook group dedicated to finding this guy. It was called Find the Vacuum Kitten Killer for Great Justice, which like doesn't exactly have a quick ring to it, but I see what he was trying to do. That turned out fantastic. Wow. Bet the next one's not gonna go as well. 4,000 people signed up. However, this included Luka himself signing up through a fake name. See, told you. Luka was obsessed with himself, so of course he was going to join a group that talked about the thing that he had done. The people that were actively hunting him were incredibly clever because they used different things in his room, different parts of his apartment, just different items that he owned. So for example, his couch, sunglasses, a ski jacket, and the cats themselves. He had already taken pictures of them and himself with them, and they're pretty identifiable. There wasn't really much to go off of for a while. It was like he posted that and then just sort of vanished. But a year later, he posts another video, again involving cats. One in a bathtub and the other being fed to a python. And after he like puts out that video, we don't really know when, but he ended up traveling to the UK, and while he's there, the London Sun posts an article about him, like, well, not about him, but about the video and how it's going viral, and he just shows up there and is like, that wasn't me. And everyone's like, no one said it was you. What, like, who are you, sort of thing. But this reporter like thought it was really suspicious. So much makeup on my hand. The reporter now thinks that like by going in and denying that he was the one that did it, he was getting some sort of like sick pleasure out of it, like, haha, you don't know that I actually did it. But I think it's really like brazen to go into somewhere and be like, I didn't commit that crime. Like, no one said you did. What are you doing, man? 2 days later, he then sends emails to the Sun where he writes, and I want to get this right, next time you hear from me, it will be in a movie I am producing that will have some actual humans in it, not just pussies. The police were notified, but I guess it was out of their jurisdiction in London, so literally nothing happened. That brings us to the worst day. 7 months later, this is May 25th, 2012. A new video pops up, and this one is titled "One Lunatic, One Ice Pick." At the same time that this is circulating, Jun Lin, a student who went to Concordia, fails to show up to his job. There's CCTV footage of him entering an apartment building in Montreal with Luka, but this is on May 24th at 10:27 p.m. Jun and Luka had been dating for a little bit, but no one could have guessed that this was what was going to happen. Unfortunately, you can still find this video on the internet today. I don't recommend looking for it. I personally have never seen it. I've only seen a still from it, and it was very unsettling. It starts off with Jun tied to the bed, and you see a purple hoodie, and that's about as much as I know, aside from the little part that I saw, which I'm not going to explain because it was very disturbing and would probably get this video booted off of YouTube. After the murder, this was the abuse of the corpse that I was talking about. So again, if you have a weak stomach, I would go forward. But basically, after he kills Jun, he commits an act of necrophilia as well as some cannibalism acts, which was part of the thumbnail that I saw. I also want to make it clear I didn't actively go searching for this video. Sometimes things just pop up on Reddit, as well as him dismembering the corpse. So the police originally didn't think that this was a real video. Interpol, the FBI, and the Toronto police were all informed about this, and no one took it seriously. Everyone thought it was fake. No one thought, like this was something that was just allowed to be on the internet. It was briefly on YouTube, but it was taken down due to violating community guidelines, which is why I'm not saying a lot of the content, but no one believed it was real. Soon, though, everyone would get a very scary and rude awakening when parts of Jun's body were found by a custodian inside of a suitcase that was outside of a Montreal apartment building. On May 29th, a package containing a left foot was received by the Conservative Party of Canada. The package was covered in stains, and it smelled like decomposition and had a red heart drawn on it. Another package containing a left hand was actually caught in transit on its way to the Liberal Party of Canada. And once various body parts were identified, they traced this back to Luka, where on another CCTV camera, it catches him at 2:47 a.m., varying throughout the day of the 25th. I think the last recording is at 10 p.m. where he is just dumping things into this dumpster in his building. You can tell he's dumping like sheets and clothes, and at one point it looks like a laptop. And what is just an absolute smack in the face when it comes to this, like this guy is already just so disgusting and just an absolute maniac. But while he's doing all of this, he's wearing Jun's hat. Like, the cockiness with this guy is just insane. When they get to his place, everything is cleaned and bare, except they find blood on the mattress, the fridge, the tub, and the table. And in a closet on the wall, he has written, "If you don't like the reflection, don't look in the mirror. I don't care." And then another foot is found at St. George's School in Vancouver, and the other hand is sent to Falls Creek Elementary in Vancouver. He obviously knew he wasn't going to stay in Canada, so he fled right away. He had made his way to Paris, and then he fled from there. He was kind of like couch hopping and staying with different men all the way until he got to Berlin, which was where he was actually caught. He was caught at an internet cafe where it's just the irony is just beautiful. Of course, he couldn't stand not knowing about himself to the point where he actually logged on and needed to know more about his own story. The narcissism is just through the roof on this one. I thought the last one was bad, but like the way he was found was actually through those animal rights activists that I mentioned at the beginning. They are extremely, extremely pertinent to this story and to this capture, along with working with the FBI. I highly recommend the documentary that is on Netflix. It was very well put together, and you get to know more about these people that helped capture him. Now, this is a part where I really struggle because the judge of this case decided that the media wouldn't be allowed to enter the courtroom, all because he didn't want Luka to gain notoriety. And it just feels very uncomfortable to be doing a video about him, which is kind of why it's a little shorter. I didn't really want to give him that much of this platform, but it is an interesting story. Right now, I really want to talk about Junlin. Junlin came from Wuhan, China, to come and study in Canada, a place that's kind of known for how safe it is. And Luka took that from him. This guy decided, I have a bigger agenda that's more important. Therefore, I get to take this intelligent and handsome young man who trusted me and just do some of the most deplorable acts. And I'm so glad that Junlin did get justice. During the trial, it was made abundantly clear that Luka was not mentally well. However, he was competent enough to know that what he was doing was wrong. He would faint several times during his trial and then claim he didn't know what was happening. As well, he was looked at by 6 psychologists, and all of them agreed that he had a personality disorder, specifically borderline personality disorder, as well as schizophrenia, which can be hereditary, so through his father. The defense tried to argue that it was through his mental illness that he ended up killing, but he clearly knew what he was doing and was aware enough to set everything up in order to film it all and then put it all together and then put it on the internet. So it would have taken a long lapse in judgment or mental health struggle for him to not realize what he was doing from the moment he decided to kill up until the video was online. So that didn't fly at all. No one believed that. The jury was like, no, he is guilty. To this day, he remains in a maximum security prison. What I hate, though, is that he still has a huge fan base. You heard that right. A fan base. Similar to Ted Bundy, Richard Ramirez, Chris Watts. This guy has fans out there who absolutely love him. They love the way he looks, the way he dresses. They forgive him for what he did. One fan even wrote, "Maybe it's my mind's way of coping with the inexplicable dichotomy of Beauty and the Beast. The extreme beauty of the person versus the extreme ugliness of the alleged act." Which, first off, it wasn't alleged. It was literally on film. Wasn't alleged. He did it. I don't know. All I do know is that I feel powerless to control these thoughts and that there is an amazing physical warm sensation when I think of him. Something akin to love. Ugh. His profile appears on a dating website called Canadian Inmates Connect, which, like, yeah, it's fine to connect if you're in there for, like, not murdering, but he says he's looking for his Prince Charming. I don't think he has a good enough track record for anyone to think that's the guy I want to be with for the rest of my life. His expected release date is in 2035. However, I don't see that ever coming to fruition because far too many people have now seen this documentary and know about his case. I mean, it was a huge deal here in Canada. I remember when it happened that body parts were sent to Parliament. Like, that's crazy. That was on the news like that. I think with the help of the documentary, it won't allow for as much wiggle room as there might have been potential for before everyone really knew about this. And just one more time, I want to talk about Junlin because like I've said in the previous ones, the victims are who matter here. Jun was supposed to come here, he was supposed to go to university, but he was supposed to have an exciting new experience in another country. He was led to trust someone that could have been helped earlier in life. That one judge telling him that he needed to take his medication or else his life was going to get really messed up. Someone should have done something more for that. I think Jun lost his life purely for fame, clearly not for fortune. And I want his name to be the one that's remembered. I know I've said Luka Magnotta over and over during this, but I want you to remember Junlin. He was the one that died. He was the one whose video was thrown all around the internet. He was the one whose body you watched be absolutely defiled in so many ways. He deserved more, and so did his family. Much like every other victim I am going to talk about, he had so much potential. Every person I've mentioned in my previous videos and today, they always had so much potential to do so much good in the world. He was someone who trusted. He was someone who trusted his partner, and that partner used that trust against him. This case is not one that I like spending time on, but I thought it would be one that I should do because it was a fan request. I say fan, but really it was a friend. And really, what's most interesting about this is that the authorities and the people who could have kept Jun safe, or at least gotten ahead and could have caught him sooner, didn't believe that the video was real. It's absolutely mind-blowing that this circulated and people thought it was fake. Well, as a quick one for today, I know my makeup's not that exciting this round, but I wanted to make sure that I was putting in a lot of effort in regards to me speaking about this than I was with my makeup, because this is just a case that really bothers me. It bothers me deep in my soul because every time you talk about him, you're giving him exactly what he wants. That's why I want to make sure that this video is not some sort of attention grab about Luka. This is about how he took the life of Junlin and 4 cats, and how now he is rotting in jail because he was caught by people who were mad that he abused cats. And if that's not the internet coming together, I don't know what is. Thank you again for tuning in. This one was very exciting to do. It was really easy to do a lot of the research because there are so many YouTube videos and podcasts and docuseries about this, so I really didn't have to look far for this information. I know I told it rather quickly, but it's kind of because I wanted to give you the breakdown of it and then get you to watch the docuseries. Highly recommend. Definitely watch that. Have a great day, and I'll see you next week. Bye!